Hi everyone. I thought I would do a recording commentating over my game against Josh, the last round of the Pro Tour this past weekend. There was quite a few seemingly weird plays if you didn't know my hand or my kind of guesstimate of the math at the top of my deck. So I thought I would do some commentary going over the lines that I took and my overall game plan and approach during the match. So we can start from beforehand. You probably noticed if you look at the face cams at any point that we're both chomping vigorously. I like chewing mint gum. It's something that helps me focus during matches, and since I didn't want to just pull out gum and only keep it to myself before the match, I offered Josh some. So this is why you can see we're both kind of chewing while thinking. The other thing too is I was aware he was playing the grains version, and in general I actually think the grains version is much scarier for my build of the deck, because it lets him, if he potentially has a 5-card hand, he can use grains twice, and then any agility generation or getting a quicken off my swing big means he can literally just use 0 cards in hand to get 6 value. So something like a Taken on the Chin set, using that to defend plus all 4 cards in his hand is 14 value on defense, and then he can convert the 2 vigors into 6 value, essentially 2 plus 3 plus the dynamos gaining him alive. So I guess it's 15 value on defense potentially if he's blocking with the dynamos there as well. So that's pretty spooky. And then also, as you can see pretty early on in the game, he cashes in grains for the 2 block aspect as well, being able to fully cover up a send packing with equipment, which is not something that the Tunic Shunt build can do. It also means I don't have to fear Oasis, but I feel like if they have Oasis in their deck against me, they probably don't really know what they're doing. So I won the die roll and elected to go first. My thinking of going first is somehow in all 8 rounds I had yet to draw Cast Bones turn 0. I thought, okay, it'd be pretty flashy if the time we play on stream is the time I do it first, but it was not to be. So we can just get started now. I presented 61 cards, I believe, and he presented a flat 60, so neither one of us was intending on this game going to fatigue.
Joshua Lau versus Noah Beygelman. It's the card guys versus the runaways. It's Hatcher Dori versus Kayo. Once again, round 2 a little faster.
Okay. So yeah, my opening hand here is pretty spicy. I have a CNC, a Beast Within, a Send Packing, and a Wind-Up. I think it's a red Agile Wind-Up. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a potential way for me to actually resolve an Arsenal Disruption. And from my experience, it's pretty awkward for the Hatchet deck to just have a random assortment of 4 cards and be able to play all 4 cards. So I know he's basically just going to be using 3 cards and setting 1. Yeah, just pretty unlikely for him to be able to use all 4. So I'm basically guaranteeing that my Arsenal Disruption cards are going to have text. So I think I just pitched the wind up. Yeah, it looks like it's a red. Make the tokens. In here, just slight optimization. I think I set the CNC just in case I don't draw blue. I then would want to block with the Send Packing, whereas if I set the Send Packing, then I'm committing to playing it off of a blue or keeping 2 cards to throw out. It just makes it much more awkward. Okay. So yeah, I do draw blue, which is nice. So my game plan here is just to either block with 1 card or to keep a card to reset my arsenal. He naked swings the sword, so I'm just expecting Blade Runner, but he plays Blade Flurry as well. And then when he plays the shift, I was like, okay, I understand why his record was so good if he's just randomly top 4 cards of his deck are this crazy to be able to punish like this. The resolving a shift the tide of battle is super strong. Typically it's a card you have to have set up for. It's more awkward to resolve, but when it does resolve like this, it's obviously very strong. It's essentially just 2 hit and runs in 1 card if you're playing the hit and run without the buff. he's tanking here for a second on whether to pay into grains or not. And by him thinking here, I know there's no triple swing coming because I don't think he's slow rolling me like that. So by the other nugget of information I can get there by him tanking on grains is that the card in his hand is likely either a CNC if he has those in the deck or a D-React, because the only cards that Dori plays are cards that give go again, or attack reacts that buff, or defense reactions, or if they're playing like CNC or Nourishing or something like that. So given the fact that he had the setup with 2 0-cost cards to be able to go for the triple swing and paid into grains instead, tells me that this is probably a D-React he has set. So likely my Arsenal Disruption is going to go pretty hard here. So yeah, I block with Pack Hall. My other blue in my hand is a 2 block, so just it's not that serious. Just block with the 3 block here. I could have also blocked with the Beast Within, but I figure it's better to have Beast Withins in my deck just in case the game goes late and I want to pair it with a discardy type card. So yeah, throwing the CNC here like this for 7 in pitching the blue instead of the yellow means that there's a chance I have like a Savage Feast or something. Just doesn't really matter the order in which I pitch them, but why not? And yeah, so we sniped the hold the line here, which I am kind of dooming a little bit, not really showing it. But I'm like, oh no, he's playing Balance of Justice and hold the line, so he definitely has a lot of tech cards for me. From watching the game back now, I can see that Josh has the lead with speed in hand here. That's why he is kind of just forced to give me the 3 armor. But in game, I was really confused as to why he did this. I thought he might have had like Hard to Find All or something. But then, yeah, he plays the lead with speed, and then I understand why now. We have a little disagreement about the resources here. He forgot he had a Vigor. He put like the 1 there, but it should be 2. I think he fixes it shortly. It kind of matters here. It's not like I'm just a magnanimous individual giving my opponent extra resources, but I don't want him to like remember midway through that it actually is more resources and then like have to go back and pay into grains and just like cause a scuffle. So I make sure we sort it out before I get to blocking. Yeah, because this resource could either go into the bracers or the grains, but surely it'll go into one or the other. Because I know the card in hand is hold the line. I think that's why you see me like smile a little bit here, because I was like thinking hard. I was like, oh no, is there going to be triple swing? And then I'm like, oh wait, I know it's a hold the line because it was just revealed off send packing. So then I just snap take the other damage. Yeah, so now he has the hold the line set, and then this is kind of the thing Yuanji and I really wanted to do with our deck, is to be able to have these kind of hands often where we have 2 costs. I have a swing big in hand, I think, and he has an agility, so it's like super safe to fire off. And I have a blood rush as well. So this is like, I'm looking like I'm in a pretty ideal setup here, where I'm just flexing all the tokens underneath my Kayo. He's stacked up super tall. But yeah, I'm in a pretty ideal setup here where I already got spill blood out of his hand, which means like, okay, he's probably not having that strong of a turn. Maybe he's like clogged on reds or something, because it's like one of the stronger cards in the Dori deck, especially entering the turn with an agility. And I'm getting to have the good curve of like essentially 3-card 12, setting a blood rush with an agility. Like I'm looking like next turn's going to be pretty nice. And I'm losing by a lot of life here. It doesn't really feel like I'm losing by that much, because we've both been applying an equal amount of like damage pressure. He just like fridged me earlier. That's why he has such a big life lead. But I don't feel like I'm that behind here, actually. Maybe like 4 or 5 points behind in reality. So you can see this like, all red hand here. Suspicion was confirmed, but this is kind of the power of the grains alongside agility generation is that he can actually just still have a functional round here. But it's also a negative because I'm like, okay, I just got done setting up this super nice hand where I have agility might with blood rush set. So if I can bag him here, I know his set is hold the line. It's like janking him right now. So this bag is basically just like guaranteed to get 5 value by making him IP. My hand here, if I remember, is pretty awkward. I think I tank a little bit here. This is something that like you would only know from me recounting back, but I actually have a cast bones in my hand as well as a wild ride. So I don't have tunic up. There's no way I can just ship the blood rush pitching the cast bones. But I also don't really want to block with cast bones because it's an inefficient block, and I'm really interested in like casting that card in this matchup. One of the ways you win from the Kayo side is by like damage stacking. So I have the agility, so I think it's probably in my best interest to just YOLO, and if I discard the cast bones, nothing really matters. All it matters is that my claw doesn't have go again, but whatever, I can just throw one of my other attacks in my hand. So yeah, I definitely can't fire off the blood rush, but playing the wild ride with the cast bones in hand is like only a 33% chance of a slightly negative outcome, whereas it has the upside. If I don't discard the cast bones, then I can go claw into playing cast bones. So this is why I'm thinking a little bit here. It seems a bit innocuous. He's just like throwing a hatchet for 2, and I've already decided that I'm going to bag because I know his arsenal. So that's why, yeah, you see this consternation on my face. Is not that this is a difficult bag, but that I'm just kind of going to go for the gamble line next turn, where I keep cast bones and play one of the draw discarders. The other potential upside too is that I draw like a big attack here off of the wild ride, and then I end up throwing that, discarding the cast bones instead. So I don't get a claw in, but I would get a big attack. So I discard the Clash of Might. This is like probably the ideal outcome actually, because that way I can throw the claw and then play the cast bones and have still my blood rush set. He has the hold the line and balance, so my first blood rush is probably going to be pretty weak, but yeah, I'm trying here to with 2 floating. I think I like fan my arsenal a little bit, as though I may be able to play it after this and like, you know, make it very face up that there's 2 floating, and I might throw my arsenal after to try to get him to use the hold the line so that it doesn't disrupt my blood rush turn, but he doesn't fall for it. So I just play the cast bones. Okay, then here it's a super interesting reveal. So one of the things I like most about cast bones is like the knowledge of the top card, so you can really plan your next turn. Surprisingly, with Brood, it's not just Ooga Booga. There's a lot of math. So here the agile windup is red, I believe. The one on the right side of the Bear Fangs is a yellow. The Savage Feast is red. Bear Fangs is red. CNC is red. Pound Town is blue. So I'm pretty sure the agile windup is a red here. I can't remember if it's red or blue, but it'll come up in the next hand where we'll know. I'm just giving Josh here a second to make sure he sees the cards. Yeah, so then we randomize them, and then I'm thinking like, okay, this is kind of weird where I have the weird contradiction. I don't play E-Strikes in my deck because I hate having the contradiction of non-brute cards with Blood Rush, because Blood Rush is like one of the better cards, right? You don't want to potentially draw into cards off of it that don't get the buff. And CNC is just too strong of a card, especially into an opponent who's actually playing D-Reacts where the tech, both aspects of the text matter. So have to have that as a contradiction, but I try to minimize as much as possible. So yeah, I draw the Savage Feast, the Pound Town, the Bear Fangs, and one of the windups. I think it's blue, yeah. So I think my hand right now is blue windup, blue Pound Town, red Savage Feast, red Bear Fangs. So that means I know that the top 2 cards in my deck are CNC plus yellow windup. So playing the Blood Rush here is somewhat reasonable. I think this is a pretty solid misplay on my part. I think I should have just fired off the Blood Rush here, accepted the fact that he's going to get hold the line value, because if I discard one of my reds in my hand, either the Savage Feast or the Bare Fangs, then I'm still throwing the CNC for 13, so it basically just demands his whole hand. And he can't actually hold the line in response to the CNC, so it potentially makes it awkward if he draws into like another hold the line or any other D-react. So yeah, I think this is actually like a pretty serious mistake that I make here of not firing off the Blood Rush because of the fact that the CNC kind of insulates me. And if I don't draw CNC, then I'm most likely going to be able to go 3 wide on the Blood Rush because I have an agility token and either a Savage Feast or a Bare Fang. So it's pretty likely I'm going to be able to go 2 cost into either 2 cost or 1 cost into Claw into throwing another attack after. So yeah, this is definitely a area that could have changed the game if I went for a different play. We'll never know what would have happened because just brute things, but yeah. And I'm also kind of insulated too. The other reason why this play is safe is because if I discard the other blue off of the Blood Rush, so my hand would then be Savage Feast, Bare Fangs, Yellow Wind Up, and CNC, then I can still do that play where I CNC into Bare Fangs, for example, because I'll have enough floating, and then I can set the Savage Feast or yeah, just kind of adjust from there. So yeah, Josh Blade Runner's this. He has still 2 cards in hand, so I'm pretty sure he goes for the triple swing here. Triple swing is especially punishing when my plan like kind of hinged on doing the cast bones there and making him have an awkward hand where I had 2 floating and played cast bones, but he was able to convert his whole hand into really good value, being able to make a vigor and do the triple swing. So kind of unfortunate, but like I was talking about just a minute ago, I could have definitely salvaged it from my hand. And again, the life total show that it seems like I'm losing here, but I still don't really feel like I'm that behind because I have the Blood Rush set. I have like effectively 7 damage on board if you want to think about it. He's at like 23 right now because of the 7 mites. So yeah, even though life totals may seem scary, I'm still not really feeling that bad at this moment, at this point. So yeah, I go for a much worse play here and end up getting punished. I was thinking I can go Bare Fangs at the start, and then if the CNC's on the top, then my play is just crazy here where I can like Bare Fangs into Claw into CNC. He can't really just take this whole Bare Fangs and keep the hold the line in Arsenal. Surely at some point the hold the line will clog him up, so I'm thinking he's going to deploy it here. But basically, worst case scenario happens where I Bare Fangs draw into draw the yellow, discard the blue. So yeah, now my play is just like play I think it's just like Claw and discard wind up. So yeah, the other option here too after this has happened is I could have just played the Savage Feast and IP'd myself on the CNC, which looks like clown activity, which is why I didn't do it. But like honestly, it's probably better to just like recover from here. Maybe he like oh no, I remember now. Yeah, I didn't do this. I didn't do that play. Okay. It would have been super clown activity because then I've drawn twice if I play the Savage Feast here. So he can like hold the line and get value out of it. Let's see if you hold the lines here. If you hold the lines here, then I'm a clown. If he doesn't hold the line here, then I should have just played the Savage Feast. And unfortunately, I don't have dice that go up to 15 to represent my gigantic Bare Fangs. Yeah, I think I was thinking about the Savage Feast potentially drawing twice and not wanting to turn on the hold the line. But then like he just plays the hold the line here, so yeah, I should just definitely throw on the Savage Feast. IP'd myself on the CNC. I've already made my might this turn off of Chaos, so like using a whole card for an agility is just like not really worth because I'm still going to have the conundrum of CNC being awkward with Blood Rush set. So yeah, I'm just like gambling super hard here. I have Tunic up, so like in theory I can block with the CNC if he swings an attack, but it's just like a bad play. So yeah, really misplayed this turn cycle super hard. And then I draw into like a super cursed hand. Yeah, this is why I was thinking about the other one potentially being a red windup. I think here I draw like quad red. Yeah, I have like red windup, red Bear Fangs, CNC, and a Savage Feast. There's a couple potential lines here. I think I just go for the Bear Fangs. I could just yellow the Blood Rush here off Tunic. But if I still don't know the top cards in my deck at this point, so if I draw like 2 more reds, then it's like super doomed. Especially if I discard one of the brute, like 1 or 2 costs, if I discard the Savage Feast or the Bear Fangs, and draw 2 more reds, then I still have this like awkward CNC conundrum. So I think I just Tunic, throw Bear Fangs, hope for a decent draw. Either that or Savage Feast. Bear Fangs it is, yeah. Bear Fangs is just like more guaranteed damage. There's a chance if maybe it was double Bear Fangs, that's why it didn't actually matter. I just remember being 4 reds, including CNC, that red wind up and Bear Fangs. So yeah, now I'm kind of feeling the life pressure when he oh yeah, this is what it, yeah. So it was double Bear Fangs. Okay, so I didn't have the line of Savage Feast. Yeah, my hand was double red Bear Fangs, CNC, red Agile Windup. Because I remember I tried to poker face super hard. I drew Blood Rush off the top, off the Bear Fangs. I was like, oh no, please don't pick it. This would be like quite bad. And he didn't pick it, so then I'm able to pitch it to throw the CNC. Yeah, he just cashes in 2 cards. That was pretty fortunate, given the fact that he took the damage off the first one, and then he blocked with the Blade Runner in the swing. So like those cards both would have converted to a decent amount of damage on offense, and I'm getting pretty low. I still have armor, but you never want to get low against Warrior, especially Joshua Lau. I kind of assumed going in that he would be playing more attack reacts, just because he's like a Warrior stan. Block 2 on the first swing to try to deny him either bracers or grains value. I'm just getting low enough to where like I have to block at some point. And I block with 2 cards here using the Clash of Might, just intending on throwing swing big, and I want to make sure my swing big is as big as possible. I see the sink below off the top, so that's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me just rewind a little bit. Pretty sure I see sink below here. Yeah, I see sink below, and then I'm like laughing a little bit because it's like, oh, this is kind of a rip, because my game plan next turn is to throw the swing big, so you can like he can always cover it up with sink below. He doesn't have to give 3 cards plus shoes, and he's playing the take it on the chins as well as the lead with speeds and hold the line. So I know he has a decent amount of 2 blocks in his deck, so there's a chance that he may have had to give me more armor or something, but seeing sink, it's basically guaranteed he's going to be able to cover up the swing big. But no going back now. It's not like I'm going to Blood Rush off of 2 cards knowing I'm drawing into Agile Windup. Okay, so yeah, here we like meme a little bit. When I throw the swing big, he's like tanking for a sec because we both know he has sink below. But I'm like telling him you might as well just give me shoes as well, because what if I have lunging press? I've just been sitting on it in my arsenal waiting for so many turns for it to be live. And I think the commentators of the match, Punkage and Sam, were like memeing about lunging press, but like if we were mic'd up, we were actually memeing about it in game too. He ends up blocking around it a couple times this game, so I guess deception successful. Yeah, the Blood Rush has just been in my arsenal for so long because of the awkwardness of holding the line, and then the awkwardness of CNC is just like, yeah. But as discussed before, I should have cashed in before tossing my quicken token. Unfortunate. Basically, like, swing big is basically just a 2-card 7 in this matchup if you attribute the second hatchet swing as like the free value I'm giving him. So here I have another blood rush, but my hand is like super awkward again with the blood rush. I just like have a bunch of wind-ups, I think. I think my hand is like Wild Ride, Wind Up, Blood Rush, something else. I'm pretty sure I end up blocking here, so you'll be able to see. Yeah, it's a CNC again. Yeah, the stupid contradiction. It's I don't get how people play so many like non-brute attacks, like they play the E-strikes and stuff. The contradiction always comes up. Yuanji and I would argue about it infinite, and he eventually convinced me to cut E-strike for this exact reason. And you see like the CNC contradiction just like is punishing so much. And he doesn't have an arsenal now too, so the CNC is like extra trash. That's why I just throw it out here. No use going for like a super risky double blood rush. So yeah, I just end up blocking with it. So you can see I've had like 0 good blood rushes this game, and Josh is basically every turn has been played super smooth. He had the 1 bag turn, but outside of that 1 bag turn, he's just been like able to play his hands fairly efficiently every single round. Even converting his big hands into vigors for next turn, or agilities for next turn, or cashing in the triple swing. So yeah, I do the standard 2022-2023 brute plays of just 2-card 6. I get a might token for my efforts, but yeah, I'm kind of dooming a little bit now. Just like, okay, I've waited long enough on this blood rush. I kind of just have to cash in at the first chance I get now, because blood rush is kind of a card that you need to have at least 3 cards for it to be good, or see specifically beast within. But I think I'd already seen 1 or 2 beast withins at this point, so that's pretty unlikely to see that. And he's pushing my life total down low. It's also pretty awkward to get value out of bone breakers in this matchup, just because he doesn't come in for like exactly 5 where the breakpoint matters often. It often is better to just cash it in for 2 on the first swing to prevent him from using grains or bracers on it on the second one. I'm trying to ascertain some deep wisdom about his hand by the fact that he keeps changing up the 2 cards he's lining up to block with, but I couldn't really get anything out of it. I figured by him blocking with a glint and pitching a glint, he's certainly arsenaling a super strong go again card, or maybe like in the swing. Those are like the 2 things I think it could be potentially, because he already had the go again. You can see my face. I'm like pretty puzzled as to why he would block with glint and pitch glint, because glint is like, I'm low enough to where I'm probably going to block with the card from hand, and it potentially enables a triple swing here if I only block on one of the attacks. But I guess he maybe he's a better warrior player than me, more disciplined, in that I could potentially not block this here. But I don't know. If we think about it now, actually, it ended up working out to where he wouldn't have got the triple swing and he would have wasted the card. But I don't know, I can't help but think if he would have blocked with the card in hand plus the yellow, I think it's a yellow Blade Runner, and kept double glint, then he could have potentially been pretty good here. And like arsenaling a glint doesn't seem like the worst, but who knows. Yeah, so I want to block here to try to deny the grains value. If I block the first one, I'm going to block the second one. So yeah, here I see the wind up on top, and I'm like, okay, I'm like pretty low. I have a tunic up, so if I draw like a wild ride here, or like any red, like swing big or something, then I'm gaming. Or even like if I keep this red agile wind up in hand, then I'm like in a somewhat decent spot. And I'm like fairly certain that his set card is not a D-react, because he probably would have just used the D-react and choose, taken 1 the turn before, and then gone for a triple swing to try to put me super low. So I blood rush here, I discard the red windup, so I'm basically just negging 1 point of value because I have to throw blue riled up instead, which is only for 8 instead of 9. So if we pause right here, you can see the Savage Man just balanced in to hold the line on my blood rush turn. So balance basically blocked 2 and then drew 8 points, or drew 5 points worth of defense. So yeah, I bagged him for 5, but he also just balanced me for 7. So yeah, card games. People complain about scabs. Meanwhile, he only plays 2 hold the line, I think. So he just like God Gamer balance draws in the second hold the line. I think I already lost the game because I didn't do the blood rush play like 3-4 turns back, but this is just kind of insult to injury in that he has like the nuts hand plus he balances into hold the line. So I basically just push 0 damage on this turn. I'm actually technically in the life lead after this, so I guess there's some small victories, but him taking all that damage means I'm like, yeah, I think I have certainly lost now. My set is like not good either. I think my set's like a yellow windup or something. So it's not like I'm cooking with gas after. Here I'm just really hoping I have Tunic up, Wild Ride, and a blue. So I'm just like, okay, if I can get away with blocking with arms, shoes, 2 cards, I can use the Wild Ride to be like a 2-card 9 here. And that can maybe get me back in the game, or 2-card 10 because I already have the Might on board. 2-card 10 basically just guarantees he's giving me at least 1 card because he can block 1/1/1 on his equipment, and that would be exactly lethal. So I know he has to guarantee give me at least 1 card, so I'm really hoping I can keep this Tunic around, but Josh has other plans. I blocked the Clash of Agility here. Doesn't really matter. My plan is to Wild Ride. This is just kind of like, I want to know my top card. Yeah, I'm also just throwing the gloves there too because it's blocking 4, so potentially denying triple swing. Here I meme on him that he has 2 cards in hand, he should just pop the copper here, but alas, he is not one for the jokes here when there's this much money on the line. So now he throws 5, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of hopeless because his first hatchet hit, so blocking this hatchet out doesn't actually do anything. It denies potential grains, but like I'm probably just dead anyway because I'm gonna have to give 2 cards and I have Wild Ride, so I could potentially try to block 1 more card here. So I'm taking 1 now, and then his next yes, I go to 6. Then this one comes in for 6 as well because it's a red Blade Runner. Yeah, just crazy sequence there to have like so many like good reds at this point. So yeah, I could potentially just blocked with a card, gone to 3, and then gone Tunic, pitch, Wild Ride to throw the claw. But that play just seems like it's losing every time. Whereas at least here, I have no hope actually because the Clash of Agility showed Wreck-A Romp on top. So like, yeah, there's actually just no hope. I think here's a misplay, but it's pretty inconsequential because I'm pretty sure I've just lost. So like I said, my stat is a yellow agile windup, so not really helping me out much here. So yeah, I think this match is pretty simple. I just kind of like ran out of life. I played too scared with my blood rush earlier, let him chip in for enough before I finally cashed it in, and then when I did play it, he just had too much life, and then he flexes on me, kills me with Dominate. I don't think it really mattered, but yeah. Wait, it looks like that was another hold the line there actually at the end. Was that another one? Okay, so I guess he plays 3 on the line, so not that crazy. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so this is it for my commentary. Hope you all enjoyed. If I keep doing wallet events, I can do more of these in the future.
Yeah, we're getting rid of the envelope
7
here, but
envelope
what we could do here is go ahead and play the envelope.
All 3 pitches of envelope and darkness.